In this video, I'm going to be answering some of the common questions that we get here. Just rapid fire, just run through them. So what does Marketing Ninjas do? Okay, in a nutshell, we operate as the extension of your business development efforts. Okay, now what does that mean? That means that most people in this industry, in terms of potential customers, they are not just sitting around their house going, oh my goodness, I finally have a water emergency. Wow, I can finally call that mitigation company I've been hoping and praying that I could finally reach out to, because I would love for them to come and extract this water and dry it out. That's not what happens. Most people have no idea what a mitigation company is or restoration company. They don't know. They've maybe seen the green trucks around, but they don't really know, right? And so because of that, the vast majority of all jobs in this entire industry flow through intermediaries like referral partners. I'm talking plumbers, insurance agents, property managers, and a bunch of other categories of service professionals, etc. And so what we do, is we do what typical business development guys, you pay them, let's say maybe like 50, 60K a year, sometimes more than that, 80K plus comps, all that good stuff. And they'll go around, they'll shake hands, they'll kiss babies, they drop off the donuts, they do all the in-person relationship building, to tee up those relationships so that they can tap into those intermediaries where most of the jobs are flowing through. Now, what we do as Marketing Ninjas is we reach out to a lot of those folks too, but we do it through, calling, emailing, is just any way we can possibly reach somebody and just get out in front of them and start the conversation. We do that, and we do the grunt work. So that's why most people end up coming hiring us, because they're like, hey, you guys are gonna like, we're spending a lot of time just like listening to the dialer as we're calling and getting hung up on, and people telling us, oh yeah, sure, call us back tomorrow, and just all of that stuff, right? Just to find those couple of people who are actually interested, and we can actually get an appointment with them, and get them interested in being a referral partner and all that good stuff. So that's what we're doing. We're kind of the team that saves you a lot of time, and speeds that whole effort up. And yeah, guys, pretty much we work with around 200 restoration companies around the U.S. And half our clients pretty much have a business development rep. The other half, they don't have a business development rep, and this kind of gets it started. So it's kind of depends on which boat you're in, and your goals with all of that. So yeah, we're gonna reach out to them. It's a simple kind of system here. You get a CRM, you get a login to it. All of the leads come into the CRM. You get a notification the moment the leads come in. Your calendar can integrate into this. It's going to book appointments directly on your calendar, send you notifications, send the reminders to the individual who got an appointment booked with. We'll also send you some leads of people who are interested in being your referral partner, who didn't have the availability to schedule an appointment just yet, but you can touch base with them and schedule an appointment with them as well. And all of that just flows in here, and you can then move them around, take notes on them, call them, text them, email them, all from this platform here. So keep it organized. It's really good, so that you're not sifting through notes and all that good stuff. So that's pretty much what we do, and kind of why people hire us here. So the next part of this, let me just kind of keep going through the questions. How can I know if this will actually work? Okay, it's a great question. There's really not a way to have a crystal ball in this industry and guarantee, and I'll talk about that here in a second too, but to guarantee, hey, you're going to get, a 10x ROI in the next 90 days, or, 30 jobs in the next, 90 days, or whatever people are saying out there on the internet nowadays. There's just no way to, like, honestly, like, as an honest person, to say, hey, 100% of the time this will work. Now, how can we draw some level of assurance and certainty that this could, very well work for you, right? Well, if you just look at a couple of things. One, Has business development and relationship building, good old fashioned shaking hands, has that gone out of style at all lately? No, no, it hasn't, and it won't anytime soon. AI is not coming for it. Plumbers are going to get calls first when pipes burst and things like that, and they're going to refer those jobs to restoration companies because most plumbers don't handle those the dry out portion, etc. And people are always going to call a trusted individual that they can lean on to as a service professional that then connects them with somebody else. That's just the nature of this industry. Not homeowners aren't going to wake up one day and just go, oh my goodness, we're all being now born into this world where we know that it is restoration companies that we're supposed to call when we have this issue. When you're hungry for Chinese food, you can to find the Chinese restaurant down the street. But when you're inundated with water everywhere, you don't call the restoration guy, you call somebody else that then connects you with them because you don't know what to do. That whole thing isn't going out of style anytime soon. So it doesn't matter what market you're in and what situation it might be. There's always going to be people in your market who are getting their hands on the job before you are. And our goal as marketing ninjas, we're the guys behind the screen, putting in the work to connect you with those people. Okay. So how can you know if it'll work for you? Because it works in this industry. There's the entire backbone of this industry for decades, since the origin of all of this, has been referral relationships, right? It's not going to change anytime soon. And the numbers and the smart money that's moved into all of this is showing that this is the channel. More people are like there's more demand to hire good business development reps than there are good business development reps, right? Like every restoration company I talk to that's trying to hire business development rep, they can't find good ones right now. There's a shortage there. And most companies doing $10 million a year or more in revenue all have a business development rep whose full-time job is going around driving routes, doing that whole thing. This just works. If you need convincing, call up somebody really successful in this industry and just ask them how much of the revenue they get from referral relationships, as long as that company's not just totally shackled to TPA companies, and you will then learn the truth about if this strategy works or not. All right, hopefully that's enough to tell you if it'll actually work. Okay. What is expected of you as a client? Okay, as a client of mine, as a client of ours, you are expected to, one, follow through. Okay, it's really basic. If we go connect you with somebody and you just like wait to go and reach out to them, like we've just put in all this work, we finally sifted through, found some gems, and we hand them over to you, and you now wait 5 days. Well, this plumber, for example, we don't just reach out to plumbers, reach out to others, but this plumber is going to not take you seriously. They're going to be like, are you kidding me? This guy wants me to refer him jobs, and he's taken 5 days to follow up with me. What's he going to do to my customers when I send them over? That's just a no. Like, just follow up, like just be a good person, follow up with people. So that's one. Two, be here to learn. Like, this space is changing. Referral relationships, yeah, it's not going out of style anytime soon, but has the landscape of all of it and how it works, is that changing? Yeah, it's getting competitive in some of these guys, depending on where you're at, but doesn't mean that whenever there's competition, it just means you got to get creative. And we figured a lot of it out because we work with so many customers and restoration companies around the US, where we figured out what works, in these different situations with plumbers, or might be insurance agents or property managers, or even just a bunch of these other professionals that are a little bit more creative ways to get them to refer jobs too. So follow through, be coachable, and be consistent. Okay, I'd say that's probably the last thing. Just be consistent. Don't just like start really hot and coming in, and like, it's pretty much just like an hour a day. I mean, you can put more time in if you want, but don't just be like, oh, I'm going to put like 10 hours one day and then wait a month and put another 10 hours in. Like, that's not going to get you good results. Just be pretty consistent and you'll do good. Okay, how long does it take to see results? Yeah, this is kind of a loaded question because it's difficult to tell you, exactly in your situation. And when you say results, what do you mean by results, right? So I'll kind of answer it this way with kind of two ways of looking at it. Okay, so typically, when it comes to appointments, usually second to third week in, we start slapping some appointments on your calendar. Okay, so that's like typical, those types of results. Now, how long does it take to get those guys converted into a referral partner? I've seen it happen like from the initial appointments we set, boom, you're already getting those guys converted into referral partners. Sometimes it takes a little bit longer, right? Because sometimes you might be new to this whole thing and you go in and you don't do so well. And then you come back to us and we kind of look at what you did and how you handle it. We go, oh, hey, like, you got to do it this way and you got to change that up. And you got your training wheels on a little bit, and we get you kind of squared away so that you can actually do well at converting these guys into referral partners. And then how long does it take typically to get them to start sending jobs? Everybody's different, like plumbers versus, roofers versus insurance agents versus, property managers. Like plumbers, they can refer jobs faster because they come across issues in more frequency and volume. Okay. Insurance agents can be hit and miss depending on what hoops you might have to jump through in that relationship to get them to win their trust and all that stuff, and what that looks like. Property managers, depends on what type of property managers we're talking about. Those can take, longer. They can have lots of properties and single family homes or multifamily units where there's volume there that's somewhat consistent. So depends on how, much frequency and volume those guys are coming across those jobs. But there are some strategies that we share with you to get these guys to start, to like put them on a mission to want to send you a job quickly, not like somebody's like, oh yeah, sure, I'll send you a job, and then like you don't hear from them. So yeah, usually, that's kind of the results and like when you can start expecting them. I mean, I've had clients come in and they're already slapping jobs like, within their first few weeks of us setting appointments. I've had clients come in where it took them a lot longer to start building that momentum in. It also can be a seasonality thing too. Like I've seen guys kind of come in the fall and like we're building. They're not like getting a lot of jobs referred over, and then wham, we're in the winter months, and now these freezes are rolling through, and boom, all these guys are starting to just slam them with jobs, right? Which is cool because now they can test them out as a partner, and you kind of get those trial jobs at first because they're trying to see how good you are at following through before you win their confidence, and then you can start getting more jobs from them because you've won their confidence after those kind of initial trial jobs. Make sure you're not going to steer their reputation in the wrong direction. So anyways, that's kind of a nutshell with that. What do you guys say when you call the plumbers? Okay, I'm going to play a recording for this one because I'm not going to go through every single one and like show, because it's we say different things and we don't just have like one script. Like I've got at this time recording this video, I've got full-time employees, got 45 of them. We got a whole department. Most of those guys are in the calling, and just cold calling. And so with that, they're all kind of like, we train them on specific things in this industry and what to say to certain guys, but they're not robots. They're saying kind of, they learn their own little groove on how they're going to do it, and we like that because they perform better when they do that. So I'll kind of show you what they might say here.
Plumbing, can I help you?
Yes, hi, sir. Good afternoon. You guys do take service calls for residential?
What company are you with?
Okay. Yeah, my name is Andrew. I'm calling from Crow Contracting and Claims. We're a local restoration company. We're not trying to sell you anything. It's actually quite the opposite. We're just looking for a good plumbing partner in the area. Do you know who I could speak to about a potential referral relationship between our companies? Would that be with you?
Yeah, that would be with me.
Ah,
Um,
perfect. Uh-huh.
what area are you in?
We're in Chattanooga. Our physical
Okay.
address is 900 Mountain Creek Road in Chattanooga. I do see that
Okay.
we are within a 20-minute drive from each other. So look, the thing is, sir, is that we get a ton of water damage phone calls that begin with some sort of plumbing repair, right? So we would
Uh huh.
love to shoot those customers out to you. We won't get involved in anything other than obviously referring you. And then in the future, if you see anything with mold, water mitigation, then you can shoot them out to us, right? Would that be something that would interest you?
Yeah, that'd be interesting to do that. We see a lot
Awesome.
of that.
Yeah.
We go to a lot of houses that's been, have frozen, busted water lines, and
Yes.
then our water damage, and then they ask us who to call, and we just tell them we don't know, because we don't know. Other than
Uh-huh.
Serve Pro, we go just call Serve
Right.
Pro, because
Oh,
we
okay.
don't know. We just call Serve Pro. But
Okay. Hey, well, look, it already sounds like a win-win because we run into a lot of plumbing issues when we do water mitigation, right? So we would love to shoot them out to you. Now, can we stop by at your office sometime next week, later in the week? Would that be
yeah,
okay?
or we can meet you out someplace, and meet up and talk with it. It'd be great.
Definitely, definitely. Okay, and I'm sorry, what's your name, sir? I didn't catch your name.
I
Okay, and we're not going to go through this, but he goes through and he books the appointment and kind of hear what these guys are saying over the phone and all that stuff and what it kind of sounds like. Now, we don't get that every time we call. Sometimes we'll call and we're just listening to the ringer. We're getting voicemails. We're in the queue and we're put on hold, and then we're okay, please call us back. And so is not in the office, and da 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 da. You know what I mean? And so like that's the stuff that you guys normally have to do. You normally have to go and sit there and go through all that, and then it's like draining, and you're probably like, I don't really want to do that. That's not like the best use of my time, especially if you're wearing multiple hats in your company. So you're outsourcing to us, right? And the cool thing here is like we understand the industry, we understand who we're calling. We call 50,000 plumbers a month right now, so we know that game. Same with these other categories as well. Like we make a lot of phone calls. We understand not only the restoration industry and how you guys get jobs and the causes and all this stuff. We understand, the verticals of the people we're calling and how they're intersecting in this industry as well. As a business development rep would, where if you go try to hire a business development rep right now, you're very lucky if you can go find a business development rep who's got a book of business, who wants to come over and work for you, and he's already got a bunch of experience in restoration. He's committed long term, and boom, 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 boom. It's one of the highest churn positions in the entire industry. Or you get a team, not just one guy. You get an entire team, somebody who's gonna actually do the calls, the outreach, who understands all the technical aspects behind how to make it all work, tracking, CRM, somebody managing the team for you so that they're actually productive and putting in the work and overseeing them. Not You don't have to worry about managing an extra person. And then somebody to meet with you to hold you accountable and teach you and coach you on the follow-up and all that stuff, and it's all tracked inside of a platform. Like, yeah, I don't know, it's pretty much a no-brainer when folks kind of just take a peek under the hood and look behind the curtain of what we're doing and comparing options out here. um, what does marketing and just guarantee? Okay, so like guarantee, I hate this guarantee thing, because like marketing companies kind of ruin the industry because they go, oh yeah, we'll guarantee 30 jobs. Da, 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 da. There's no way to guarantee anything. There's no way to guarantee your heart is going to keep beating 5 minutes from now. That's just life. In this industry especially, there's no way to guarantee you know jobs when, man, half the jobs are controlled by factors outside of anybody's control. Maybe we could go and hire a group of folks to go and tamper with pipes, or have a special weather machine or something like that. You know what I mean? Like, I like that joke because it's goofy, right? It doesn't make any sense to say, oh yeah, we're going to guarantee this. Like, that's how I know somebody's out there throwing a weird guarantee. Immediate red flag, run for the hills. You're dealing with dishonest people. You're dealing with somebody who's just taking money and running. They're just telling you what you want to hear to give you, have you give them money. It doesn't make any sense. So what we're guaranteeing is something that we can actually guarantee. We guarantee you a certain number of appointments, or we'll work for free until we can get those appointments, which may vary. That number may vary depending on how big your territory is, because we charge depending on how size of territory, and we've done, we've got a formula for number of appointments inside that territory and opportunities and and all that stuff. But we can guarantee a set number of appointments. If not, we work for free until we get them. That's anybody who tries to guarantee you a set number of jobs. Just I already talked about that. Run. Bad red flag. Okay. Why should I do this if I already have a BDR? Okay. We got 50% of the companies we work with, they got a BDR. 50% of the companies we work with, they don't have a BDR. So if you have a BDR, I would say the reason people come to work with us and they already have a BDR is because they're trying to tee them up. Okay. And I've found two situations with BDRs. One, you have a new BDR. This guy's fresh off the boat. And you're trying to, tee him up, build his book of business. Now, this system isn't meant to replace BDRs in total. It is meant to, supplement that effort in the company. Now, when I have guys come in and they're fresh off the boat, like I can think of dozens of clients right now where the BDR, said that this program helped them so much because there's training in here. There's videos I put together, there's coaching calls that they jump on, there's scripts, there's appointments booked on their calendar, there's accountability, right? There's a CRM for tracking, like they go, wow, like I feel like if it wasn't for this, I would have a hard time being successful. So especially with the new BDRs, this fast tracks their success. Now, if you already have a BDR that's just swinging and they're killing it already, and you're already working with somebody like that, this is just extra added volume. Usually the feedback from those guys is, hey, you guys got stuff that I couldn't get, right? I've been working the territory for a while and I couldn't get those ones, and you guys were able to push through and get those somehow. Like, that's awesome. That's that extra added gravy for me. Or we couldn't figure out that vertical before. I've done really well with this vertical. We hadn't quite figured that one out, and you helped me figure that one out, So that's the type of feedback we're getting there. Okay. Now the next one is, why should I do this instead of hiring a BDR? I like this one too, because a lot of times if you're on that fence of like, man, next hire should be a BDR. Okay, let's just pull back for a second and think through this very logically and keep it really simple. One, business development reps highest churning position in this entire industry. Okay, that's not me saying this. This is what the top consultants in the entire industry have said. Okay, these guys, what happens is, you're trying to go out and you're hiring a BDR. The chance of you finding one that already has a book of business, trained in restoration, all this stuff, extremely low. Okay. And if you do find one and they already bring their book of business over to you, they used to work for one of your competitors, there's a red flag there. I've got horror stories after horror stories after horror stories of clients saying to me, a BDR left and took $1 million, $2 million worth of business with them, went and started a company, partnered with somebody else. If you hire a BDR, get a contract in writing. Do not play that game of, hey, this guy pretty much has me by the, and they've got, a large chunk of my company. It doesn't make any sense. Okay, go get it in writing. Go get a contract there with that. Okay. Now, the next thing is, if you get a guy who is, not in this industry, which is most likely what you're going to get. Maybe it's a guy who used to work in pest control. Maybe it's the guy who used to go and, worked for Cintas and dropped the rugs off, or whatever it might be. They have a little bit of sales experience, but it's not directly in this industry. and they're looking for a change up. Well, usually those guys, this is why there's such a high churn, is because referral relationships take time to ramp up and build. And a lot of these sales guys come in, you pay them, 5K, 6K a month, 7K a month, something around there, depending on where you're at in this country and what the working wage is for that. And they're excited about $100,000 plus opportunity. That's really why they came in, because that's what sales guys are looking for. And after 90 days, they decide this isn't for them. Okay. And they fizzle out, right? Or you don't know how good they are at sales until they're actually out there, and they look good on paper, but they may not be actually that good at sales, and you don't really know until you give it some time here. Okay. That's really the risk with this. That's the risk with hiring a business development rep that we solve, because when you hire us, it's not like you're hiring somebody who hasn't done this before. I've got an entire team who does this all day long, right? It's not like we don't know what we're doing and you're risking, hey, I'm hiring a company, they don't really know what they're doing. No. We've got it all figured out, okay? We've done this over and over and over and over and over and over. I'm not saying we're perfect and we're flawless and everything we touch turns to gold, right? We're human beings and life is life and stuff happens, of course, right? But we push and we make sure that we do a great job. Every time that we touch somebody's account, we're doing everything we can. And if we make a little mistake here or there, we go in double time to correct it, okay? Because life is life and things happen sometimes, But when it comes to hiring us instead of a BDR, it's usually the smart move to get the book of business kind of built up, so that you can transition somebody in, and then it can be a good handoff to supplement them and kickstart them and kickstart their book of business, because we can already kind of get that fire kindled, okay? Why should I do this instead of Google Ads? All right. If you're shopping around and somebody's going, oh, yeah, do Google Ads. Here's the problem with Google Ads. Okay. You're going to hit a ceiling. Everybody I've ever talked to who've actually gotten Google Ads to work, which is not a huge percentage of people, right? Most people try Google Ads, they get smoked out on it, and they spend a bunch of money and it doesn't work. And sometimes it's the company that they use to do Google Ads, because you got to make sure you have a good company doing it. Sometimes it's just the market that they're in and it doesn't support it and the conditions aren't favorable for it. So when you do Google Ads, a lot of times, if it does work, there's a limit, there's a ceiling. You can't just exponentially scale and scale and scale Google Ads, because there's only so much volume when it comes to Google Ads of what, how many people are searching for those things on the internet in any given time. You can't create more search volume out of thin air, right? And so there is what it is. And outside of that, like, this just scales. Referral partner scales. Don't believe me? Go call up some people who are doing $10 million plus per year in restoration, who is not fully getting that from third-party administrators and program work, and just simply figure out how they're getting their work. Because I've already done this. We've talked to hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of companies that are doing $10 million a year or more. We just ask them the same question. And here's the thing. They all say the same thing. They all say, well, yeah, we're getting them from referral partners. I have a network of plumbers. I have a network of insurance agents. I have a network of property managers. I've got a network of this, a network of that. They have referral networks that are sending these referral partners that are sending them jobs regularly. Okay. So you should do this if you want to scale something long-term. Google Ads compared to this, it'll never beat it. There's no way. Plus, Google Ads is risky. Should you try it? You should try Google Ads. See if it works. There's not a large percentage of time that it will work unless you have a long runway and you can play the game of law of averages over a 12-month period to really see what your ROI is on it, where you can spend a minimum of $5,000. That's between your agency fee and your ads, minimum of $5,000 every single month, and see after 12 months, that's $60,000. See, that's when you can truly see how profitable it is, right? Anybody who tells you that you can know exactly if Google Ads will work for you, and after doing it for a month or two, like, there's no way. It doesn't make any sense. Okay, it's the game of law of averages. Okay, Why should you do this instead of SEO? Oh my goodness. If you're under $5 million a year as a company and you are even considering pouring any considerable budget into SEO, please go do some research on how SEO works, and just do some simple understanding of who's ranking in your local area with SEO, and you will realize very quickly that is not the game you want to play, and you're not going to get any significant ROI on that in the short term. SEO, that is a long-term game. And right now I'm talking about on-page and off-page website ranking of your SEO. The other form of SEO is Google My Business Profile ranking. Now with Google My Business Profile ranking, you can rank a little bit sooner rather than later. Okay. However, when you're doing Google My Business Profile SEO, like if you go look at the official documentation from Google, it will tell you that the two things it looks for when you're ranking your Google My Business Profile is direction, how far you are away from where the individual is searching, so distance, and how many reviews you have. So your distance from the person searching and the reviews. Nobody on planet Earth marketing company usually wants to tell you that, because that's how they're making their money and pulling the wool over your eyes. They're saying, yeah, pay me thousands of dollars a month, I'll get you Google My Business Profile ranking, when the two things that actually rank the profile have nothing to do with anything you can pay a company. Okay, those are things that you are doing on your own. You're deciding where your business is in relation to where people are searching, because you chose where your address is, and two, you're choosing to have your technicians go out and get your reviews. You can't spoof reviews. You do that, you get banned. Okay. So why should you do this instead of SEO? Because it's the one thing in this industry that's been tried and true forever and ever and ever. Doesn't rely on an algorithm. AI is not coming for it, changing anytime soon. It's not going to style anytime soon. And it just simply works, and it's the backbone of this industry. Okay. And we're not reinventing the wheel here. We're just making it spin quicker. All right. So the next thing, why can't we hold your territory while you're thinking about it or making a decision? Hey, I'm very respectful to say that I understand you have to make a logical decision. Sometimes it's more than one person in making a decision in business, yada yada. The challenge with this logistically is I have inventory. The inventory that I have is the territories that people are interested in buying. Now, I cannot hold up inventory. Imagine my inventory was bikes and I was running a bike shop. I cannot have a bunch of bikes that people are just saying, yeah, can you hold that bike and not rent it out to anybody while I think about it, And then I have my entire inventory tied up in, I'm thinking about it still. And I only need 24 hours, I promise. Turns into 2, turns into 15 days. And I'm just still thinking about it. And in the meantime, I've got people coming by looking at that bike going, man, if that bike was actually available right now, I'd take it. Right. And you can see how that doesn't really make sense. It has to be first come, first serve. At the same time, I don't love that. And so that's just how we've had to be. And unfortunately, I have to tell you this. If I don't tell you this and then you get upset because somebody else came bought your territory, then like somebody else, they talk bad about us online and wrote negative reviews because we sold their territory and da 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 da. I'm sorry. It has to be first come, first serve. You do the same thing if this was your company too, unless you just want to be sitting on hopes and wishes and, take my word for it and all that stuff, which half the time doesn't come true, because half your job in this industry is just chasing down your checks, trying to get these companies to pay you money because they're holding up your checks all the time, which is unfortunate, right? And so I don't want to be suffering the blunt end of that all the time, and us having to be, just holding up a bunch of territory. So if you're serious, it makes sense to you, it's pretty much a heck yes. Let's get started. Let's get rocking and rolling. Get back to the person who sent you the video, and they will get your territory totally claimed for you. It's yours. You are then going to receive a text message and email with a video from me walking you through every single next step, a form to fill out. Your account rep's going to give you a phone call. You're going to get added into our communication platform. You're going to get added into the CRM, and you're going to get everything set up. You're going to be invited to a couple of meetings to get everything kicked off, rocking and rolling. We're going to get our guys on it, train them, get them running and gunning, get your calendars integrated, to get appointments started, get slapped on there. Boom, we'll be off to the races. And we look forward to working with you long term. Appreciate you. Thank you for watching, and God bless.
Master Plumbing, can I help you?
Yes, hi, sir. Good afternoon. You guys do take service calls for residential?
What company are you with?
Okay. Yeah, my name is Andrew. I'm calling from Crow Contracting and Claims. We're a local restoration company. We're not trying to sell you anything. It's actually quite the opposite. We're just looking for a good plumbing partner in the area. Do you know who I could speak to about a potential referral relationship between our companies? Would that be with you?
Yeah, that would be with me.
Oh, perfect. Uh-huh.
What area are you in?
We're in Chattanooga. Our physical
Okay.
address is 900 Mountain Creek Road in Chattanooga. I do see that
Okay.
we are within a 20-minute drive from each other. So look, the thing is, sir, is that we get a ton of water damage phone calls that begin with some sort of plumbing repair, right? So we would
Uh-huh.
love to shoot those customers out to you. We won't get involved in anything other than obviously referring you. And then in the future, if you see anything with mold, water mitigation, then you can shoot them out to us, right? Would that be something that would interest you?
Yeah, that'd be interesting to do that. We see a lot of that.
Yeah.
We go to a lot of houses that's been, have frozen, busted water lines, and
Yeah.
then our water damage, and then they ask us who to call, and we just tell them we don't know, because we don't know. Other than
Uh-huh.
Serve Pro, we go just call Serve
Right.
Pro, because
Oh,
we
okay.
don't know. We just call Serve Pro. But
Okay. Hey, well, look, it already sounds like a win-win because we run into a lot of plumbing issues when we do water mitigation, right? So we would love to shoot them out to you. Now, can we stop by at your office sometime next week, later in the week? Would that be okay?
or we can meet you out someplace, and meet up and talk with it. It'd be great.
Definitely, definitely. Okay, and I'm sorry, what's your name, sir? I didn't catch your name.